And we're live! Hi everyone, Erin Zen Warrior here. Oh, I think you might have caught that. I never can tell. I am coming live to you from my fantastic new place here in Auckland. I cannot tell you how I managed to land on my feet here. This is literally by the grace of abundance, manifestation, creativity, and the ease in which you want to go with the flow as you do that. And so that brings us to our topic for today. And I want to point out that every flat and every place I've ever lived has actually been, particularly the ones where I was very involved in the manifestation of the process and where I took responsibility for it as well. There are places that other people manifested that I've managed to live in, and that I wasn't involved in the process. And it made it much harder for them because I was a resistant force in that flow. And in order for them to do what they had to do what I'm going to talk about today, which is work with the contrast and work how to learn to embrace it and flow downstream. So if you haven't been here with me before, I've been away for a while, and getting in the flow of things as everything is moving about is, I'm not one of these YouTubers that tubies every day. Quite frankly, there's just too much going on in life. Life is too abundant to be sitting on here talking to you guys all the time, though I would love to be. And I appreciate that you guys do tune in. What I want to talk to you today is about living in contrast and how living in contrast is a beautiful thing, particularly if you're a person who doesn't actually know what they want. Now, in human design, I am going to touch on that, and if you have no interest in it, what I'm talking about is still going to be relevant. But for those human design people out there who are finding that very useful in their lives, as I have, most of us don't have willpower or that desire center wants and needs lit up. So 30% of us do. And when I'm around those people, they have this definite push, and I almost feel pushed by their wants and needs and desires because I have an undefined center there, which means I have a hanging gate and I hold a lot of space for everyone else's wants and needs and desires. And the reason for that is I'm checking out because I don't know. I'm retrofitting. So I'm now, 42 years old, and I'm working my way through life, and I'm starting to get an understanding of what I don't want. And the way I've done that is by sampling and checking out and experiencing, well, maybe I want this, or maybe I want that. And then, you get into that process and you get there and you go, yeah, no, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Yeah, nah, is a saying here in New Zealand. We say yes, we say no, and we mean both. Of course, I've got on YouTube and the cat wants to go out. Do you guys want to wait just a second while I go and do that? Just give me 1 minute. He's cute. He's going. He takes 5 minutes to get out the door, even though he's decided. My apologies, gang. I'm coming back. I'm trying not to bump everything around too much. Thomas knows exactly what he wants, my cat. If you haven't met Thomas, he was sitting behind me at one point. You were all going to get to meet him, but doing all the tagging on these things takes a bit of time. And he got sick and bored and tired and got up to eat, and now he's gone out. Anyway, so, yeah, nah. It's like, yeah, but no, actually. And I really feel like that saying in New Zealand is like, we really don't know what we want. So maybe, yeah, no, now we've really thought about that, or we've really checked it out or experienced it. We've decided that we would like the exact opposite of that, or some of that was really nice. Some of that was really in line with what we want. Some of that was very easy. And life should be easy. There's so many sayings in this world about that we absorb and we adopt as true, and our parents see it as, life's not fair, money doesn't grow on trees, life's not easy. And because we can see that their reality, my dad was born missing a major heart valve. Anybody who has that problem is going to know that getting up every day is an interesting challenge, because every day your body is really different. Well, the truth is my body is really different every day. Is it really different to that extreme? No. Interestingly, with him, he lived a very, very full life for someone who died at 39. But of course, when I look at the life that he lived, life wasn't easy. He left home at 15. He earned money as a shepherd. He got a family by 24. He was a stepdad before then. So he had my sister as a family before then. He was struggling with his health. He was struggling with money. We weren't at all rich. We were poor. And when I asked my dad when he was going to retire, he said, "I'm going to be a working man till the day I die." And his reality was what he saw. And the funny thing about the reality and that which you see is it's all in the past. And what we do is we identify with that past. And Joe Dispenza talks really well about this. There's a lot of great coaches. Abraham Hicks talks about this. Those of us that live observing our past, so that's even observing the present. Like, you really have to get a grasp on that. The only thing that's real is now, and it's gone. Now, and it's gone. This moment, this moment, this moment. Sadhguru talks about this. Everything else is in the past. And the moment that's present, the moment that is right here, right now, instantly becomes the past. So if you're constantly observing what is in the third dimension, what is physical, what is right in front of you, and you're living in that experience all the time, what you're doing is you're living in the past. And there's nothing wrong with coming here and experiencing everything that there is in life. But if we're buying into these stories that our parents told us, who, through no fault of their own at all, and obviously we're going to observe what was in their present moment and then create a future out of that. Oh, well, life's difficult. Well, yeah, life can be difficult, especially if you keep telling yourself it's going to be difficult, and especially if you keep observing the past as it's fleeting by. When I get something that's difficult, I look at it and I go, well, do I really want it to be difficult? No, I don't. Okay, so I can observe from this present moment and this passing moment. I should call it the present passing moment. I can observe from this present passing moment that there are things that I like in this moment and I enjoy them very much. And there are things I don't like so much, maybe in this moment. And I would rather have something else. Now, here's the trick. I wanted to talk to you guys today about contrast. I spoke to a client today. She's one of my holistic mentoring, radical transformation, radical responsibility clients. And we work the 3 pillars in that. And one of the things is to observe how we think. And she is pissed right now. Some shitty things have happened. And family has been pretty cruel. I think that's a fair observation. And she would really like them to acknowledge that they were wrong. And she would really like that to have been different. Here's a couple of problems with that. There's nothing wrong with the feeling, first of all. And the feeling is a great feeling. It's I don't like this. This is in contrast to what I want. I would like something else. Great. But that situation whereby those people have done those things, possibly trying to do their very, very best, right? Even if they were shitty, even if they really, really didn't do nice things, they probably were, in most cases, unless you're dealing with a psychopath and sociopath, probably really were trying to do their very, very best, right? I can't change what they've done. No amount of anger is going to change that. It's in the past. I also cannot control what they're going to do, and I cannot make them acknowledge that they were wrong, especially if they don't feel it. But actually, more importantly, I cannot make them do anything, just like they cannot make me feel anything. I am radically responsible 110% for how I feel all the time. And the beauty of that, if you really get that you must be radically responsible for your state, is that when I feel angry, I am doing it. I am embracing it. I am going deep into it. And it is a contrast, because if I really wanted to be angry, I'd enjoy it. So if I'm not enjoying my anger, we can assume I'm in contrast to how I would like to feel. And if I'm 110% or 100% responsible for how I'm going to feel, because that's the thing in this world I definitely have some power over, What is not going to help me, and this is key, is sitting there going, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be angry. I don't like the way I feel. I don't want to be angry. Or even worse, I'm not going to be angry. Because what you're doing right in that very moment is you're focusing in on the anger. And where we focus our attention, our energy flows. So what we're essentially doing is we're amplifying the anger. I had a moment like this earlier last year where a client didn't, and bless their heart, they mean well, they're doing their very best, and I'm sure that they were actually struggling. But they were very upset with the amount that they owed me, even though I told them that they owed me a certain amount, right? And I told them several months before, and they'd done nothing to communicate or pay me. So I dropped them an invoice, which you'll know, if you know me, you know I only invoice on request. Happy to invoice, would rather not. It's a lot more paperwork for our team, and we have plenty to do here if I have to invoice for everyone. So some people don't care. They're happy to pay me as they go. All goes through the books, all goes through the bank accounts. But invoices aren't necessarily necessary unless you're running a business. So I dropped her an invoice. She went nuts. She really lost it. She was really upset. Probably the invoice stressed her out. Probably she felt bad. I don't know. But what I can tell you is she was very angry at me, and she was really willing to kill me on every level. I dealt with the phone call. When I hung up the phone, I was livid. I was so angry. I was so angry because how dare she? That's how I felt, right? It was my ego like, how dare you? Anyway, I'm driving along in my car. That phone call had been in my car. And I'm fuming. And I'm like, I can blow up the world with my anger. I'm pretty powerful in that way, right? And I'm like, fuck, I want to get out of this feeling. And I'm trying to stop myself from being angry. So what am I doing? I'm amplifying the anger. And as I'm doing this, I'm like, okay, start looking at myself and I'm like, right, you're fighting with the anger. That doesn't work. The anger is this beautiful experience that is showing you something, and it's showing you contrast. I don't want to feel angry. Awesome. But you are angry. So something has occurred here that you don't want. Now, there were a couple of things. I had let this go on too long. I had trusted in someone I probably knew because of the way that they were. Not that they were a bad person, but just that I probably had to be a little bit more on it with them because they were scatty in the way they managed things, and that was obvious to me. That probably I should run that side of my business better. But actually, the biggest thing that I was doing was I was letting the outside world affect how I felt. So I wanted her to acknowledge, you're all going to get this straight away. I'm sure you've all tried to do this. I wanted her to acknowledge that she was wrong. I wanted her to gratify me with an acknowledgement of the fact that she was completely out of line, which she was, in my opinion, right? And as soon as I realized I was I was basing my emotion on something outside of me, and I was basing and hedging my happiness on the behavior of another person, I had to laugh at myself. I was being a control freak. And it's a control freak because I'm trying to push against something. I'm trying to resist against something that doesn't even know I'm resisting against it, really, you know? And as I laughed at myself and I laughed at me trying to do something that I'm in the habit of doing, I took a step back and the anger started to naturally just dissipate because I actually don't want to be responsible for any of you. I am not responsible for any of you. And no teacher on any light should be, no guru should be either. It was something that was reflected to me recently that Osho should have been responsible for the behavior of Sheila. Why? Why should anyone be responsible for the behavior of others? That Trump should be responsible for the behavior of the alt-right? Why? Are they not adults? Are they not here to live their own life? And honestly, if you listen to that, how ridiculous is that? Oh, you should be responsible for the impact of what you say. I can say one thing to you guys right now, and some of you will take it one way and some of you will take it another way, right? I can take all the care in the world, and sometimes that's going to blow up in my face more. I've had that even on here when I've run into issues where it gets very sticky, like, for example, around transgender discussions. It's so easy. It can be so easy to offend some people in that area, and others not so much, you know? And so it's like walking on eggshells. Man, my feet are a lot heavier and a lot thicker and going to cause a lot more weight and pressure than eggshells can resist. I'm going to break a few. So it's easier not to worry about the eggshells. It's also intelligent, it's emotional intelligence to recognize that you are responsible for how you feel. I am responsible for how I feel. So the beauty of this anger, the beauty of the contrast, this is the catch, right? When I went into the fight with the anger got bigger and I was starting to swirl. And so I stopped myself. I was like, oh, I'm fighting the anger. Cool. Even more contrast. I'm building more contrast. Right. Well, I don't want that. Right. So I'm going to embrace the anger. It is an invitation to look at where I'm coming from. It is an invitation that I am moving upstream instead of downstream. Downstream is easy, and I want my life to be easy. So I'm going to move with the flow. And the flow is not to resist this person and require of them something that they don't want to give me. You know what's really funny? That person wrote me an email and apologized about a month later. And by then I didn't give a shit. I appreciated the email. It was lovely, right? But by then I didn't care whether they acknowledged me or not, because I'd created my own abundance in that moment. So I promised at the start of this video, or in the titling of this video, about money. And I said I was going to talk to you about money and getting rich. And I want to take this law, this embracing contrast. When we don't have enough money, we fear that we won't be able to survive. And that fear is in contrast to how we want to feel. And so we can spiral down the toilet hole, right? So this is a little bit of a more of a difficult one in some ways. If I focus more on needing money, just like if I focus more on wanting to get out of anger, I focus more on the lack of money. So it's this idea, when I focus in the area of contrast, all I do is amplify it, right? Instead of, with the anger, I did a point of inquiry. What's going on here? Oh, okay. I can see what I'm doing. I can transition somewhere else and just take responsibility and laugh it off. I'm not going to control anything over there. So I did a little bit of a different thing here to what I'm going to ask you to do with money, men. Men's a good one as well. How to get the partner that you want. Well, stop focusing on why all your relationships have been shit so far. Stop focusing on everybody leaving you. That was a favorite story of mine. And focus instead on what you want. But the beauty of the contrast, right, is that it shows you that retrofit. When we don't know what we want, contrast gives us a point of inquiry of, oh, well, what is it that I do want? Oh, well, I'm in fear of not having enough money. Oh, clearly I want more money. Cool. Well, in order to get more money, I probably don't want to focus on I need more money. I want to focus on things that are abundant. So the contrast gives me the indicator of what I don't want. Perfect. But if I focus on what I don't want, even by saying, well, I want more money, there's a trick here, right? Money is a sticky one. What I actually want to do is I want to focus on where my abundance is. So I want to completely shift off money, because we've been so programmed around money in particular, and partners as well. There's a lot of programming in these two areas. And there's a lot of lack in the whole population around these two areas about the love that they want in their life and the lack of it, and about the money that they want in their life and the lack of it. And everybody wanders around going, the secret, the secret, the secret. Focus on what you want and that's going to come to you. It's like, well, yes, that's true. But mainly the way people focus on what they want is by going, well, I don't have, so I want more of. Well, this guy left me, so I want someone who's not going to leave me. And it's like, the problem is you're still reinforcing the negative. By saying I want more money, you're still saying I don't have money. By saying I want someone who's not going to leave me, listen to the phrasing of those words, I'm saying everybody leaves me. Instead of, I want to live an abundant, or I'm living in. And this is the other thing. You need to say it in the present moment. You have to create the future as if it already exists. So you have to look to the abundance you already have, and you can feel into that abundance. I right now am sitting in a beautiful flat, far more beautiful than my last flat. But I loved my last flat. It was freedom for me. It was exactly what I wanted. It had a bathtub. It answered all of the things that I had dropped in to my vortex that I said I wanted. And actually, when my friend put photos of that flat online, I looked at her flat and I said, I want that flat. And when I went out there to get it, there was very little resistance and me going, I'm moving. And her going, well, hang on a minute, we might be too. And that flat came to me. And I actually created it from a year before, but there was very little resistance because I don't have a whole lot of programming like I do about money and relationships around getting that flat. Nor did I around this one. So I'm quite good at creating flats because I don't have resistance. I go, I would like a new kitchen. Well, now I'm sitting in a brand new build with a brand new kitchen that looks exactly like the one I imagined in my head. And I felt into what it was going to be like to be in that beautiful kitchen whilst enjoying the flat and the abundance that I had already created. Now, let's move back to the more difficult things. Let's go to love first. I have this beautiful, fluffy little boy who's probably waiting outside the door, waiting to get back in. And he loves me greatly. Now, you can argue till the cows come home about whether cats really love or not, but there's studies on this. So they do. And when you have a cat or a dog, dogs love abundance so abundantly, it's unbelievable. You know what it is to have their love. You know what it is when they curl up around you and snuggle into you like you're their only person in the world. When you have children, there are those moments that you have with them. There are plenty of other moments too, but there are those moments that you have with them, probably when they're asleep. And when they laugh and they giggle and they show joy, that you get to experience something so beautiful and so abundant. So when you're practicing abundance, feel into those things. When you're practicing what it is to feel love, feel into the joy of all the stuff that you have in your life that shows you love. To me, existence loves me. It gave me this flat. And if I told you how I got this flat, it's ridiculous. It was offered to me. And I moved cities straight into it. And it's in the area that I've always liked, in the new city that I've moved to. Didn't take me months to find this flat. I had only just decided I was moving while I was at a festival and stepping on a person who owns this flat. So, and this is totally like, I feel like a princess here. So part of my abundance practice, I get to get up and go, wow, I feel like a princess every day. Look how magnificent this is. And I created this. It's cool. It's really cool. And it's a cool feeling. And with my cat, when he loves me, beautiful. When I stand in front of people and I talk to them about human design and I talk to them about law of attraction, I talk to them about what it is to get healthy and how you create health in your present moment, how you've got to feel into it now to get there. And yes, we're going to do all the practical things too, the food and the movement and all of that stuff, because it's all part of you getting ready to receive the full abundance. And that's the thing. This is going to take practice. I practiced for a lifetime poverty. So when I started to unpick that one and started to manifest really cool places to live, I really, really had to look at the stories I was telling myself, and then I had to move over here to tell myself different stories. In order to get the love that I want in my life, I've got to appreciate the love that I already have. My family loves me. They think the sun shines out of my ass. Sometimes I wonder why, My cat loves me. When I get to interact with people, there's so much abundance of sharing and joy there, and I love it. I love my life. I love to get to teach. I love to get to do this, even though I don't even know who the audience is. And I love to see your comments. Please do like and subscribe. Us YouTubers love to have that stuff as well. It does help with our feeling of abundance. And if you have friends who do this kind of stuff, please like and comment on their stuff. We love it. We love it because we feel like we're not just throwing energy into the middle of nowhere. Now, I trust that I'm not throwing energy into the middle of nowhere. I trust in it. I know that it's not the case that this goes nowhere, because I see how energy swirls around me and comes back to me. And that's the same with love. I put a lot of love out into the world. I receive a lot of love back. And the more I receive it and feel into it and enjoy it, the more I put out and the more that comes back. And it becomes this ever expansive flow. I get up every day excited for the day because that is my reality. And I have practiced that as my reality. Now, money. If I want more money, I have to focus on abundance. I just talked about abundance and love. That'll do it. You can just practice the abundance and the love that you have in your life. And as you expand more into that, you put more out into it, I guarantee you money will come. Because money is really just congealed energy. And we focus a lot on it because of the design of the matrix. But actually, and we buy into things like you've got to work hard and play hard to get a full life. Man, I'm a projector. For those human design projectors out there, our signature theme for health is rest. I just took a nap earlier. It was delightful. I am so grateful for my naps. They are part of my expansion. I wake up from those deep slumbers and I'm like, yeah, this is the life, you know. For others, for other types that need to move their energy, like the generators, that's 70% of the world, there's great health for them in getting going, exhausting their energy, and then calming their system at the end of the day. And there's abundance in that. And those people, when they kickstart that motor in the morning, they fly through their day. So why breath work is so big, because it's creating abundance for people. And it's freezing their crazy mind. See, there's this little trick in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, I had intended this to be 15 minutes, but I get going and I can't stop. There's this little trick in the morning. When you wake up, your mind's not thinking of anything until you start thinking of something. And often what you think about first thing in the morning is your problems. And so what are you doing? You're over here again. You're down in the contrast. Awesome. Nothing wrong with that. But there's an opportunity there that you might have missed. Roll out of bed, spend 5 to 15 minutes, start small, start with 5 minutes sitting and just relaxing and even practicing focusing on the things in your life that are damn awesome. Simple things. I have a roof over my head. I have food in the fridge. I have a great person in my life. I live in a beautiful country. It's a sunny day outside. It's raining outside. The plants are going to love it. There was a rainbow the other day. Beautiful. Love a rainbow. Dolly Parton. If you want the rainbows, you've got to put up with the rain. Actually, if you want the rainbows, embrace the rain. And there will be more rainbows and sunshine, because you need both for that, right? They're complementaries, not opposites. The contrast is a complementary. It's not a negative. So what am I truly grateful for when I wake up in the morning? I'm truly grateful for contrast, because contrast is helping me work out what it is that I want in this world so I can focus in on it. Also, when you focus in on what you want, be general. It's easier that way. For the big things, I want abundance, not I need a new car. Yes, I need a new car as a game you can play, but it might be too specific to start with. You want to practice the bigger stuff. I want to feel grateful because it's the ultimate receptivity. Okay, well, how can I practice grateful? Well, I'm going to sit here and look around and see what I have that I can be grateful for, and then I'm going to pull that feeling physically into my body. Oh, well, I'm really, really angry today. Cool. Embrace the anger. Check out why the anger is there. I'm feeling really fearful today. Okay, well, fearful is related to survival. What is it you feel you don't have? Or what is it you're afraid to not have enough of? Because the funny thing is that people are often afraid of things that haven't happened yet. A friend of mine got made redundant, which is the error for that, right? Or at least that's what they're saying. She got made redundant and she spiraled that toilet, focusing on the redundancy, focusing on the fear of what if I don't get a job? You know what they say, when you've got a job, it's easier to get another one. When you've got a boyfriend, it's easier to get another one. Why do you think that is? Because you're on the high of, because you're in the vibration of the abundance of already having a job, the abundance of already having a boyfriend. Why do men fall out of the woodwork, or women, or whatever your flavor is, fall out of the woodwork as soon as you have someone? because you're vibrationally higher. So why don't you practice that vibration now? Instead of living in the past of what has gone wrong, live in the future of what might be. You know, when you're a child, you get up every day. Even a child that has a shitty upbringing, there's still magic for that child. And they get up every day with, most of them. There was a story I heard recently that was a little bit sad, but there's potential for that person to live a different life now. Most children get up every day, even the poor ones, I was a poor kid, with the possibility of magic's going to happen today. I don't know what life is going to bring me, and it's going to be exciting. You know, between 0 and 5, because 5 is when we go to school here in New Zealand, between 0 and 5, every day is a little bit magic. Climbing trees, playing under the turned over boat, burying yourself in the sand with other kids, wandering around and like finding change on the road so you can go get lollies. The excitement of it, the joy of it. Magical movies, mum bringing home ice cream, simple things of abundance. And those children run their designs, their human designs perfectly. And they give themselves permission to be grumpy. Do you see how a child doesn't stay grumpy for very long? Right? A child that's angry, you offer them ice cream, they cheer up real quick. Why? Because they're feeling into the abundance of the ice cream. They're like, yeah, I want that. That's gonna be great, you know? I wake up every day and I say to myself, life is gonna bring me magic. And it's gonna be so much bigger than what I can even imagine. And I can't wait. And you know what? When you say that to yourself and you really feel what that's like, it's like going back to that child, but also it actually happens. Magic really happens every day when you open your energetic field to the possibility by going, bring it on, I'm in. And I'm going to embrace everything, even the contrast. Because the contrast is beautiful and the contrast is showing me what I want. For those of you who do not have willpower lit up in your design, it's so important for you to embrace that contrast. And then be careful, everyone, be careful of your phrasing when you're looking to embrace something, or looking to feel into something other than the contrast. I feel angry. I want to feel love. I want to feel happy. I want to feel abundance. Well, focusing on the anger itself isn't going to help me. But allowing myself to be angry is. So when I say I don't want the anger, I'm going to get more anger. If I say, okay, I'm angry and I own it, like I might even wander around for a day experiencing it. And then eventually I go, you know what? I don't want to stay here. So what would I like to feel? Well, I would like to feel this over here. Well, I'm going to focus somewhere else then. I'm going to stop telling this story to everyone and everyone and everyone and everyone. And I'm going to start telling this story to myself about what I do have in my life and how amazing it is. I'm also going to take responsibility for what happened over here. Take it from me when it comes to money. You wander around saying life is hard and money doesn't grow on trees. Money won't grow on trees. But actually money does grow on trees and you just have to work out how to shake your one. With regards to partners and love, if you wander around saying, I'm not worthy and all of these things, but I'm not worthy of love, I'm not worthy of money, I'm not worthy of life being easy, you're in contrast to what, my guess is you're in contrast to what you want. I woke up one time every day thinking I was so lucky and I couldn't believe the luck because of the man I had lying next to me. Can you imagine what it felt like for him to hang out with someone who didn't think they were worthy of him? It's not a nice vibration to offer someone. If you want to offer your partner the best vibration, it's not even about worthy or unworthy. It's about loving yourself so much, the question doesn't even come up. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, like, follow, subscribe, find all my links, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of the stuff. I have a link tree somewhere as well. I really must get my beautiful Jasmine, who is one of the most amazing assistants ever, to help me tidy up all the links here for you. Um, and any topics you want to discuss, any questions you have, I can even answer them on here as a live. So thank you all so much. Oh, I'm doing a free human design basics course tomorrow night, New Zealand time, New Zealand Standard Time, 6:30 p.m. Tuesday night. So that'll be Monday morning for a lot of you. I will be recording it for all those who have registered. So the registration is on Eventbrite. If you check out my Instagram and my Facebook, you will find the links for that. Might even try to drop the link into this once I'm finished. Thank you all so much. Erin Zen Warrior signing out.